you want the best, be the best. Otherwise, like, stop it. Now, on women that go, he can't take me to Cheesecake Factory, or he can't do this or that, that's absurd. Because again, I'm telling you, for somebody that's, you guys, that actually makes me go, I'm gonna take you to Cheesecake Factory. I want to see what she does, you know?
Right,
because I'm just like, I'm going to test you.
Right.
Because, you know, people that are running around, like, this is what y'all need to understand. There are the most successful people that I've ever met running around in jeans and t-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
They chilling, man. They the most mild-mannered, relaxed people. Everybody not on TV. Yes. Everybody not flying in the G7s. Like, nobody's doing that. That's that ultra nonsense that you see on YouTube and TV, right? But at the end of the day, you can't sit there and come up with some checklist that you don't even check. Like, are you checking your own boxes?
Welcome to the Icon Theory podcast, where we empower entrepreneurs to build iconic legacies. I'm Garrett, one of your co-hosts, and this is the amazing Tanya, Tymus, Bellamy. Today, our topic is partnerships and positions. We'll be discussing the pros and cons of joint ventures and the importance of choosing the right partner professionally and personally. So joining us in this conversation is a premier entrepreneur based here in the DMV. He is the CEO of several companies, a real estate investor, a crypto and a stock investor, and a fellow podcast host. So we're excited to welcome Mr. Marcel Clarke.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Did I
cover
that or do you want to add a little side?
I mean, she just knocked it out of the park. I mean, what else should I say?
So I guess we're going to jump right into it then about these partnerships and positions.
Okay.
So Marcel, we just listed all of the things that you have going on, many business endeavors. Do you have partnerships with any of the business endeavors that you have?
I don't really gear myself towards partnerships, honestly, because I'm really like what we call like an alpha entrepreneur, right? So any decision making that's involved, I prefer it be on me. A lot of times with partnerships, it's exactly what it implies, right? You want to be 50-50 and maybe you're not really understanding what your partner's perspective might be, but you want to go along with it and it could be a good decision or a bad decision. I kind of like, I phase that out. When I started my real estate development company though, I started with my partner, Shannon Young, and it worked out to a certain extent. However, I could always tell that I was kind of like, Shannon was kind of like, he wasn't willing to go along with some of those decisions I made. And some of them weren't really, really good decisions. But I could see how I was impacting him. And he's still a really good friend of mine to this day. And he was able to say, you know what, let's just, let this go. And let's just move on. And he's still in real estate development, but I kept Millennium Strategic Investments. And that was an example of how I felt like, okay, I'm just one of those people that I'll take it all, right? If it's on me, it's on me, but I get the win too. So I'm not really on board with that whole partnership dynamic. But I also could see the benefits of it for people that, there are certain levels of risk taking. So for those that kind of are trying to hedge their bet, they want to go 50-50. They want you to put half your money in. They want to see how this is going to work out. They might not lose as much, so they're looking at it from a financial perspective. So I get it. And some partnerships can be great partnerships, so I'm not knocking it at all, but she asked me a question about me personally, and I kind of just deviate away from it.
So do you think that that's just more prevalent in our community where we shy away from partnerships more than other communities? Because we've always heard the saying, having 50% of $1 million is better than having 100% of 100,000. So
I would again, I think it's based on your risk level. I don't really want to pigeonhole, African Americans and minorities in general and go, okay, this is just a preference in the community. I just think that it really breaks down to risk tolerance, and individual personality. And I think that, again, it just depends on the setup. And if two people create something together, like genuinely from the bottom up, the ground up, that organic partnership has really good probabilities of succeeding. So it's different. But somebody that's kind of like, two people, they're grown and they're like, oh, I want to buy a beauty salon and I just had the money, but you guys had the skill and talent. Like I can be overbearing because I'm the financer. And I could be telling you guys things that you're like, he don't know what the heck he's talking about. And it collapses, so that's what I mean. Like it's the dynamics involved that, you have to be really aware of when you're marching down
the
that road.
egos, pretty much.
Yeah, ego. Hey, look,
it would be ego.
Egos are on both sides of the equation between the genders.
It would definitely be egos because honestly, if you have a airtight operating agreement and a airtight partnership agreement, I'm not understanding where the problem would come in. If there are no egos.
Well, people, again, all right, so here we go. I mean, raw and uncut. What I really learned over the years, though, is like paperwork is just paperwork.
It is just paperwork.
So the technicalities of, I think, partnerships, they definitely matter once you're in court. But once you're in court, you're everything's been burned down, So that's what I mean. It's the fundamentals of a partnership that, again, you only know what you don't know once you're in it. So it's kind of like one of those situations where people should be taking advantage of all this knowledge we're putting out there and think about it and put it in perspective while they're making that decision. And I mean, that's just where I am on it. It's a fluid issue.
Right.
Understood.
And to what you said, I was wondering, like, when you do a partnership, obviously you've had experience with it. Do you think that it's always important to have a legal document in place, or will a verbal agreement hold
no.
up?
Yeah. Like, all right, rookies don't ever do anything verbally.
No
like, verbal means nothing, okay? Like,
Zero.
in this business, and again, I've been in court, right? I've been on the other side of it. And when I'm looking at the situation, no matter what, the structure of any business and the starting point is a very well put together legal document. And let me say this for everybody that's out there, just to capitalize this with Tanya. Like, your attorney matters, people. Don't be doing that legal sign nonsense, bro. Like, all of these little companies, they're saying that they can give you all these operating agreements and documents. Man, don't do that. Find you an attorney because they're well worth the money. I've paid a serious price in real estate development by not really taking the document to an attorney, looking at it myself and signed off on it. Cost me about $500K.
Wow.
All right, easily. So I could have avoided a whole scenario by paying that lawyer that $700 an hour, right? If I had just said, okay, let me put this in my attorney Tony's hands. Tony, go ahead and take a look at this. And now, I don't even do business without him looking at documents. So he's my real estate attorney, right? Real estate development. I don't even do a deal. The first thing I do is if somebody sends me something and I'm in like on step 3, then I'm sending it to my team to go, look, take a look at it. Bottom line.
So do you feel like even if you have those legal documents in place, can a disagreement disclosure be a part of that document where you already hash out any disagreements that you may have in the future? Or you think that shouldn't even be a part of?
He's just saying, nah, I ain't doing it. He's like, nah.
Yeah, I mean, it's to each his own. I mean, there are a lot of documents and clauses that might can help you down the road. I mean, judges are judges, so I'm deep in the weeds now. Like I'm just saying that what happens.
I ain't doing that.
Yeah, but
get all that.
and when it's all said and done, again, I'm just kind of like that whole paradigm. I'm not really.
So on the same topic, so to speak. So I know you wouldn't do a partnership, but what about like seeking capital through a venture capitalist or a VC firm?
I mean, venture capitalists, they're just like any kind of, in my industry, hard money lenders, right? I mean, they're going to charge you, you're going to pay a price for that money that you're borrowing, you know?
And they have a voice in
right,
how your business is run
and
as
they
well.
have leverage in your business, and you're going to pay more because they're taking a high level of risk
equity
to fund you, right? So you have to think about that. I mean, especially in this environment right now, interest rates around 7-8%, like it's not really easy to get funding, right? So keep that in mind. So when you don't have resources available, when they're limited like right now, then you have to take what you can get. So from that standpoint, you know, I would say you just have to basically do your due diligence. I'm not saying that I don't do partnerships ever. I would consider some of the franchises I've owned partnerships, and that's just a different level of partnership. But yeah, to your question, that's my answer.
Okay. So would you partner with someone you were dating?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Tell me why.
Because, you know, only the best of us could actually really differentiate our personal lives and our professional lives. And just through basic experience, you know, I don't want to be in business with someone and then I'm coming home to that person too.
So you would just give her the money that she needed to start her own business?
I'll make all the money. And then,
so you would just give her the money?
I would definitely, I mean,
invest
now hold up. Just because I love you don't mean I'm financing your business.
Why not?
Because it could be a bad investment.
So, but if you think it's a great investment, good idea.
Okay, but I mean, there's a lot going on.
But you wouldn't be a partner. You would just give her the money and she own it 100%. And when she leaves you, she'll take the whole business.
I don't know anything about.
I
don't know anything about just giving her the money. And definitely not gonna be 100% walking around. Yeah, like what is she talking about?
You don't want a partner?
No, but what I'm saying is, money's not free in this world.
Well, what are you gonna do? Charge her interest and you sleeping with her?
But you see all of this? This is why I said absolutely not from the break, right? Like
no, but you said a partnership.
No, but I'm just saying absolutely. You asked me would I be in business with someone that I was involved with?
Right, we're not asking you to go into business anymore. We're asking you to give us the money for an investment.
I don't my world doesn't work. I mean, you know, listen, millionaires are millionaires for a reason. You understand that, right? Like, you have to learn how to govern your money, people. And I'm not just giving away my cash.
Oh, so you'll just take care of her?
Yeah, I mean, again, that's why I said it's personal versus business, right? And personal, then we have a relationship, we're all good. I know my business side. It's contracts, it's due diligence, it's I'm holding you accountable. You're not gonna like me. Really, like I have those gears where you talk about my cash.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like
I feel like most entrepreneurs have that gear.
Yeah.
Real
even if you had, I guess, an interest, and you felt like she had that same energy, that same drive, and really this person inspires you to do maybe some things that you hadn't thought about doing, you still wouldn't consider a partnership with even, I mean...
No. Now,
because I do see a lot of married couples or a lot of couples who really do amazing businesses together.
Yes. Well, this is my thing on that. Now, that's a different, she's... The question's a little different now.
Question.
No, it's not the same question.
You just take it a different way.
Because from that standpoint, if you really are inspiring me and I'm listening to you and I really believe that you can do it, right? And again, it's going to be a confluence of things that I'm thinking about. And I'm definitely looking at your experience. You know, are you a people person? Can you actually carry a business? Does this make sense? Is it implementable? Like, so I'm a business person.
All the things.
If I walk through all of that and I go, she could do it, my personal decision would be, I'm just gonna give you the cash.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give you the cash.
So you would give her the cash.
Right, I would give her the cash and we would have an agreement. But just like my best friends that are broke, think about what I'm talking about. I don't expect it back. You understand? Like, if I give her the money, on my head is not getting down. If we don't work out, Tanya's good, right? I'm just gonna be like, yo, it's cool. Like, I mean, because that's what my head is. I'm not thinking about, oh, I'm gonna give her, like, because you know why? Because while she's building the business, I'm minding my business. I'm not in it. I'm not in it. I'm not asking her crap. I'm like, go.
But what if she constantly comes to you for advice
Then
and
we
asks you
good.
questions? Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not banging up. Like, I'm not saying she should listen to me. You know, like if like she asks me for advice, I'm cool with giving it to her. But she doesn't listen to me, I'm cool with that too.
Oh, that's
You know, like I'm removing myself from the equation.
That's big.
So the
That's big.
Yeah.
No,
'cause
so
I-
the interesting thing here is this. It was just the approach. The way you said it made him say yes. The way I said it. So,
Here we go.
so see, I came off in a, hey, would you do this? Absolutely not. You said, well, hey, what if these scenario?
She's
So
funny.
ladies, the way that you get money from your man is you have to change your approach. Soften it up a little bit.
Okay, I might have to agree with that.
It is
I
just
mean,
the
I have
approach.
Just
read
the
many
approach.
Yes, that's
articles
all it
that
was,
say
Marcel.
that married couples really do well in business together.
For sure.
Wow.
They're already partnering in life.
Right.
I would never. Send me the article.
Honestly,
It's a true article.
I wouldn't-
You're already partnering in life, so why would you choose this person to be your partner for life if they can't be your partner in other areas?
Because it's so overwhelming.
Is that just the way you're choosing to look at
A
it?
good thing.
It's just the way you're choosing to look at it. Maybe you should change your perspective.
If again, it's too. We're definitely not looking at it through the same lens because I'm looking at it as me investing in her, and you're kind of going if we were both in it together. I guess I think that's a different paradigm because like I started, I don't do that us together thing like period. So it's different, but I can get into that space with you when you're saying if it's a couple and they're just, they're doing their thing and they want to start a childcare business and she's great with childcare and he's great with the numbers. I get it. I totally
But you wouldn't
get
partner with her. You would just give her the money. But that goes to my next question. So in that case, then it must be extremely important as an entrepreneur to choose the right partner. So that means who you choose to date needs to be aligned with what your perspective is.
that. Dawn going hard, y'all. She going hard. Listen, you guys are gonna get mad, but this is my thing. I don't think that, I think it's, again, there's levels to this, right? So I think that, two people that are involved with each other and they're in an apartment and they sharing a car, like, I don't think this conversation applies to you.
No.
Right? I think what happens here is those of us that have been, especially those of us that have been in marriages, we've accumulated a lot of assets. We start to understand that, listen, here I am, divorce time, looking at the paperwork, talking to my attorney, and he was like, she can get 50% of all the businesses I built. I was like, damn. Like, it's real. Like, there was no negotiating that. Like, anything that I built when I started before that marriage, anything that I did within that marriage, she had 50%. It was not even negotiable. I only got fortunate because, my ex-spouse, she had a lot of things going. She was great in a great space. So she really wasn't like, it wasn't her thing. But I learned from that. So to answer your question, whoever I would partner with now, imperative that we definitely are on the same plane because I know. So
Yeah,
if
sure.
I just did this out of Google, big heart, eyes, love, and I pay the price, it's totally on me. I can handle it, but I know better. So, and I think people get offended by that.
Oh, no, there's no offense.
You start talking prenup, la, la, la. They act like, well, if you really love me, I don't have to sign. Whatever,
that's
man.
not true.
That's another partnership agreement,
thank
honestly.
you.
So, I mean.
But no, only women who don't have any money get mad about
That's
it.
what I started with, right? I'm like, if you're not on that level, then you offended. But if you on that level, you going, I gotta
need
take
a
it in my
prenup.
stuff
Yeah,
too, right?
hello?
So it's a mutual understanding
Yes.
right off the break, So yes, to answer your question, who you partner with, it absolutely is imperative and matters because like with me, when we start talking about, I know we're probably gonna touch on generational wealth, but with me, I'm so deep with it now. I'm like, I'm looking at my daughters and I'm like, I'm talking to the attorney like, what are we gonna do here? Because I leave them a tremendous amount of assets. They marry a bum and then they get 50% of my
Listen to me.
cash. Like,
We are here.
Yeah,
Oh,
like, come on, like, how does that work? I mean, I've done all this to build this. We all have to fly one day. And then this kid marries some dude that's not doing this thing.
And he getting half.
All day. And he's wealthy?
Yeah.
Absolutely not on my watch. It's not going
That's
down
where
like
trusts
that.
come into play.
Yeah, and I think you also have to organize your life in that manner and understand when you're us that, listen, this is what's next and how I want things to unfold. I think now if we go down that road, that's where we fell in minority communities. I mean, I hate when I hear about celebrities passing away and they didn't even have a will.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of going, how does that happen? I mean, you're surrounded by people, you have attorneys, you didn't think, nobody helped us think it through. And my caveat is, I get it because in African-American community, we aren't born into those spaces where those documents and that conversation is to be had.
Yes.
So if you never had it, you don't know, right? But now 2024, no excuses. Too much information out there, too much
Instagram.
data. Now you got IG, YouTube and figure it out. But yeah.
Something you said stood out to me though, and you said your ex, she was doing well. What if she wasn't? If she was in a space where she was with you for a period of time and you were able to come home to a space of peace every day. And that peace that was provided in your home allowed you to go out there and be this king to really conquer all of your things that you're out there conquering.
Right.
You wouldn't feel like she would be entitled to 50% if that is also a part of this big piece of your pie. Because we do know in entrepreneurship, your days can go on and on. And if that little bit of 4 hours, 6 hours, whatever they may be, that you are able to spend time at home, meals are prepared, you're coming into a clean home, everything that makes all of the things for your mind to be at peace, to go out and do all the things that you do. You still wouldn't feel like she would be entitled to 50% in that case?
Oh, she's absolutely entitled to 50%.
Okay.
And I mean, because I can even tell you this, when I met my ex, who was an OB, for y'all OBGYN doctor, she was making all the money. I wasn't making any money. I'm just be blatantly honest, And the fact that she was in a space where we could move to a location and I could actually pursue my dreams, I don't care what happened between us. I owe a percentage of that to her, because like you said, she gave me cover, and we all know how relationships go and everybody getting their little feelings, but we're responsible for going, how am I here? And anybody that doesn't take that walk and goes, how am I here? Then they can't arrive at that space where I'm saying, listen, I don't care what's happening between, us two, I owe you. And for me, I'm incredibly loyal. So yeah, I mean, she gets half. In that situation, yeah, just take it. I'll rebuild, I'll do it. But yeah, don't ever reciprocity, people, karma, right? Just respect that, because you start that negativity and that nonsense, I believe that you pay for it. So yeah, she should definitely get half.
I mean, especially in our entrepreneurial space, I mean, there are so many ebbs and flows. You can have some years that are freaking amazing, and then some years you're like, so what am I gonna do next?
100%.
So having that support is always great, but those years when you are, I guess, the breadwinner or the head of the household, do you see an energy shift in the household during those times?
I like what you said, and I think a lot of young entrepreneurs, I hope y'all caught that it's the ebb and flows of our lives, right? So when you're an entrepreneur and you really start to basically understand where you are, and if you're experiencing any kind of success, there are always going to be years where you're crushing it, but you have to prepare for the downtime. So when you're crushing it, don't spend all your money and go out there and buy, the Rolls Royce Wraith. Don't do it. When you're crushing it, go get the Rolls Royce Wraith. Don't get me wrong now. You get it right. But I'm just saying, when you're coming up and you still have things to achieve, you should be kind of putting some of that money away. I usually tucked away at least 25% of everything that I was making. That was just mandatory. That whole 6-month rainy day thing is true. Those of us that have gone through the pandemic, those of us owners, we know that, yeah, when times got tough, and even though we were pushing our businesses forward, I was never really panicked because I had cash, right? So I totally agree with you on that. So, I mean, like, you know, we all kind of figure it out as we move through this whole space. But I mean, I totally agree with, you know, what you were telling me.
So what I didn't hear, do you feel an energy shift in the home? Because do you feel like the breadwinner is always the most dominant in the home during that season? Or does the role stay the same?
I think it's based on relationships. She didn't let me get away. I tried to get away, y'all. Did y'all see that? I tried to, and she's a veteran. Like, I try to go back. Okay. I mean, dynamics matter. Again, when I talk about these types of things, I kind of come from a personal perspective, right? You know, I was able to be humble knowing that the whole time she was making the money, right? When I first met my ex, I was living in Baltimore. She was living in Tyson's Corner. But again, she's a physician. I'm working some job, probably making 50 grand a year. And I was like, look, it's time to move. Like, she was like, look, we got to, move on. Now we're engaged, let's move on. I was like, all right, I'm moving. I think everybody is responsible for humbling themselves. Like this, appreciate your space. So when those shifts do happen, what I can say in my own experience, she never threw it in my face. They're like, hey, I'm making the money, what you doing? Even though, fellas, I didn't give her a chance to do that because I was grinding. Like she saw my grind. So we really never had that top, like if I was home playing video games all day, then she should be like, well, what the hell? I'm busting my ass and you over here doing what? It's on us to make sure that we're, showing that person that, look, I'm getting after it. I know it's slow and it's taking its time, but I'm getting after it. So when those dynamics, they did shift. I answered them. They did shift, but I really appreciate the fact that I didn't feel that pressure. Like, yo, what are you doing? When is it going to happen? It was more just like basic conversation, like, what's going on in your world. I could respect that. And I think that those individuals that find the right partner, that partner will take that in and they will always honor that moving forward. It's all emotional intelligence. Like, I mean, really, y'all, like, seriously, everybody with all of their issues and what they do like and what they don't like, if you want to level up, just work on your emotional intelligence, because the way you handle scenarios and the way, everything comes full circle, it matters. Yeah. So, she invested in me, and down the road, when I love being able to go, hey, look, let's do this. Let's go here. Let's just fly here. That was all cool. And even like I've already elaborated on, even when it ended, it was amicable because I knew that I owed this person. So I don't need the drama. I'm not taking her down that road. Emotional intelligence, man, pick it up.
Right.
And we gonna have all these issues.
Do you think in those situations though that women tend to show more grace in those situations than men do? Or do you feel like it's a...
Well, women, I love women. I love the gender. I love y'all, but I'm saying, women are so emotionally in tune. So sometimes those emotions can get, you guys going, You can, now you are graceful, and I think women deal with a lot more, being mothers, business owners, supportive to the family, raising these kids, like you said, men, I don't know about this new generation, but my generation, what's for dinner, So, there are multiple hats that women are wearing. And at the end of the day, you're to be celebrated, right? So,
Thank you.
Yes. And it's just a fact of the matter. So understanding that, I think that comes to, individual perspectives, right? I can't speak for the guy that always has a problem with everything. That's just how they out there. But the guy that really appreciates the fact that, you're doing your thing and isn't threatened. I think that's the biggest thing, right?
So I just want to ask a question. So did you feel intimidated at all by being in a relationship with a woman that was doing a lot better than you and moving into her space? Did you feel inferior at any point? And just putting to the side how she may have chose not to say or do things to make you feel inferior, just internally.
No, I'm built differently, y'all. Yeah. And I'm not saying it for the camera. I'm saying I'm an entrepreneur, right? And I'm built differently. So I'm never intimidated by anybody. I don't care what your level of wealth is, success, fame, all that. It's not mine. So, right? So like, I don't really care what you're doing in the world, right? What I care about is how we treat each other. And what I care about is, what we're building.
So what was that dynamic like dating? Like, were you able to take her out? Were you able to do things for her? Or did she have to fund everything?
I was okay, but, she was Ruth Chris, right? And I was like,
Fridays.
Mid-grade steakhouse, like a little place with a little steak. Yeah, Outback. I'm Outback. I was Outback, people. Thank you. Yeah. Y'all, we can talk about that all day. Cheesecake Factory, really, y'all, we can't.
Right,
we're okay with Cheesecake Factory. That was just that one girl. But so she chose to say, I'll go to Outback with you.
She chose both, and that's why I got, again, a lot of respect for that person because, yes, to answer your question, we had to kind of like find that median.
Right.
But it was
that's
cool
beautiful.
Though, but when it was Ruth Chris time, I had to suit up and
figure it out.
But I couldn't pay no bills over there. I couldn't pay any bills. I'm not fronting, like I was like, oh, this is nice. Buttered up steak. I'm like this. And that's the thing too. Aligning yourself with somebody that's like on that level, it's inspiring. Again, this is what I'm saying about personalities. And she let me see what's next.
Yes.
She let me see, okay,
yes, this is could be this.
Right, and it made me push harder in my own personal business.
To get there.
I'm like, okay, I gotta pay for some steaks.
And then on top of that, you felt like she deserved it because she accepted you where you were.
Thank you.
And it's so interesting because, we have this conversation amongst women all the time, especially in here where, women won't date certain men. And even with saying, oh, we won't date a certain man that makes a certain amount of money. But it's just interesting to hear your perspective on it.
I think this is my thing to the fellas. All right. First of all, if I'm out with my guys and one of them has been drinking a lot, right? I'm not jumping in the car and I'm not letting them drive. I'm not doing any of that because I don't think that he can drive. I don't think he can get us where we're supposed to go. All right, here's the analogy, right? Why would a woman jump in a vehicle with somebody that she don't think can drive and doesn't think he can get there? She has to trust you first. She has to see for a fact that you have the capabilities to lead. These guys that are out there and they're kind of like, they just want to take over and they're not bringing anything to the table. Why would anybody do that? It's not a female or male thing. It's like, why would anybody do that?
And it's not a money thing.
Right. So it's not
leading.
a money thing. But that's my thing to the fellas. Like, if you want the best, be the best. Otherwise, stop it. Now, on women that go, he can't take me to Cheesecake Factory or he can't do this or that, that's absurd. Because again, I'm telling you, for somebody that's, you guys, that actually makes me go, I'm gonna take you to Cheesecake Factory. I want to see what she does, because I'm just like, I'm going to test you,
right?
Because people that are running around, this is what y'all need to understand. There are the most successful people that I've ever met running around in jeans and t-shirts. They chilling, man. They the most mild-mannered, relaxed people. Everybody not on TV. Yes. Everybody not flying in the G7s. Nobody's doing that. That's that ultra nonsense that you see on YouTube and TV, right? But at the end of the day, you can't sit there and come up with some checklists that you don't even
Right.
check. Like,
Right.
are you checking your own boxes?